Bryan's interview, take one.
I think I'm kind of glad you haven't done me at the Asylum, because if people see that behind, they'll really think I have lost the plot. Oh dear.
Alright, so how did you come into Ricochet?
The Ricochet thing happened, well, the name came about when I was in, I've never been away, so if it wasn't for girlfriends getting me out, I wouldn't go anywhere. We ended up in Spain, and we were sitting in one of the pubs, if I recall rightly, over there, and thinking about a name. I think it was September 76, and I hadn't been playing that long. But when I did start playing, I never stopped. And I thought of the name there. We went through loads of names, and we thought of that. But I thought it was good. So when I got back, I must have mentioned it to Bob. Could have been Bob, probably first. I can't recall whether how the rest of the guys got to know the name, but they liked it, and it went from there. Name-wise, that's how the name came about.
Okay, so how did you actually come into the picture?
I think it was with Bob first. So you won't mind me calling Bob Cambridge, and then he got the name Bob Corwin. I think he was doing a lot of roadie, and I think he roadie with Quartz a lot after the initial thing with us. And I think rehearsing with Bob somewhere in some school, and then I don't know how I got to know, to be honest, how I got to know Tim. I think it was through some other friends as well who were rehearsing in his school, probably up Bearwood somewhere maybe. And I liked him, he was lovely, and I always remember fond memories of Neil and his just real take the world on attitude, you know, because I'm a real timid within, very nervous, sensitive kind of person really, and I just admired, he had all these things I hadn't got in that kind of respect. And I remember him saying one time he was going to have, and I'll never ever forget this, he was going to have his guitar on an elastic band. And he was going to throw it out to the audience. They were going to try and catch him and go flying back to him. I don't know if I did that, but I'll never forget that. And I'm sorry if I'm waffling on, I hope I'm getting this right, but I just remember bombs and wanting to rehearse, and it was just bombs, and I could never see anybody. But there you go.
Okay. So, your relationship with the other guys in the band at the time was pretty good?
Yeah, I always felt Tim was a warm chap, but Tim was the sort of guy who would just suddenly go, no, I don't like that, no, I don't, you know, that kind of thing. But overall, it was really nice, you know, a really nice guy. Neil, as I said, he was kind of, you know, the adventurous, full of beans and wanting to do things, and I think he was getting the gigs, and I think he got us a review in, if anybody's mentioned this in the other interviews, a review in Sounds. Well, only a cover band, you know, but most bands start as cover bands anyway. So.
Yeah, nobody mentioned the review at all.
I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure. But Neil said we got, or it might have been a gig in Sounds, but in them days when you're a kid, it's like, oh, we're in Sounds, you know. Well, could have been melody making.
Okay. So, what are some of your fondest or funniest band memories?
Well, I mean, I've got to be honest, I'll say this, I was always torn apart. I've got a lovely girlfriend, and I'd always, you know, wanted to be like everybody else, but I don't think I was confident enough to ever get married and have the responsibility of a family. And I know this is going off the subject a bit, but it leads to the fact that's why I stuck to my music, because it was something that I felt I could do and get better at, and kind of say, well, that's mine, and feel better in myself about it. And the unhappy parts were when I wanted to practice and get better. I either had the chance to go back to this lovely house with a lovely girl and spend the rest of the day, but I remember one time saying, no, I want to go home just to practice. Sorry about that, but it did break my heart. I couldn't stand it, you know, and this saying, oh, it's his music or me or whatever. And I'd had opportunities over the years as well before I had health problems that I've had and still have got. I'm just a bit lost here. I get losing what I was saying. You might have to do a bit of an edit here, Jeff, but you can leave it in if you want. I was torn apart, and it wasn't until a lot later in life I thought I can't do this. I've just got to focus on my music. And even now, I just like to meet somebody who helps me with it, because I have worked hard at it and I don't want to throw it away. I'm probably skipping from the past here to the middle part and that, but those are my unhappy memories. The good memories are of people like Neil got me out and got me started gigging, and if you look at the early pictures of me, so nervous, hard to look at the audience, totally concentrating on what I'm doing. I mean, people say to me now, you've got a gift from God. I ain't got a gift from God at all. I've worked my what off, and still do and still will, to play the guitar. Do you know what I mean? And it's a goal, it keeps me going.
I'm right there with you.
And that literally keeps me going. If there's no, I just want to die. You know? I'd like to die on stage. Any time will do, as long as if I die, it's a good gig.
Blue-eyed beggar, Jeff.
I'll have Jeff singing with me and we can go together.
Well,
with Neil's bass flying through the air on the elastic band. Neil, I love you for that. I'll never forget it. It always gives me a chuckle.
Alright, so what about Neil's pyros? Any good stories?
Apart from my eyes watering and I can't breathe, I can't see anything. That probably sums that up. No, I just remember, I'd always liked people like Johnny Winter. I'm not a blues, I woke up this morning I was going to kill myself kind of blues man, but I love all the old blues stuff, and that's where I started, probably with the more, not so much the primitive people, but people like Johnny Winter, Rory Gallagher, McCrean and everything like that, and so as I noticed with Gary Spider saying I was really loud, the thing is, the kind of style I was doing and was into more was a three-piece like Johnny Winter, as I said, or Jimi Hendrix, Cream, and bands like that. So, you know, when you have got a singer, it's a different scenario. You know, you're more like cut it down because you've got this front man. You know what I mean? It's like Dave Lee Roth and stuff. You know, he wants to be heard and stuff. So I appreciate that. But anyway, I can't recall being that loud. You know. But,
he said everything was up to 11, just like Spinal Tap.
Was it? Okay. Probably because I'm small. Volume makes me feel like I'm taller.
Okay, so what led to you leaving Ricochet?
Well, I think at the time I was really starting to get into it, and I remember the lady I was with, Maureen, she said, oh, the first year with you was great, and then till you picked up that thing. And it's not funny really, because I wouldn't like it if I was a woman and suddenly this instrument took over. But I just really got into it, and after that I got into classical guitar, some jazz. I actually went to Leeds School of Music. I was going to learn that. Then I saw all these guys sitting there in music sheets and looking. Oh, I thought, sod this, I've got to rock and roll. And I went back to wanting to rock. And I think just because I wasn't into what I felt was more. I don't know. I know I was always complaining. I got to rehearsals. But when I look back, I think it was great, really, what they were doing. I mean, they were having fun, and I was just a miserable, depressed git who just wanted to took it too seriously, probably. I don't know, but there was a lot of bombs going off, and you turn up at rehearsal, and it was just they were Neil and Tim. I'm not knocking them anyway. They were having a good time. Before I get there, I just walk into this massive sound of Motorhead songs and them two playing along to it. I think there's a drum riser in the rehearsal room, if I remember rightly, and nearly be there. I couldn't see him, but it was just black, loads of smoke. The room was black anyway. It's a great rehearsal room up these stairs, as Gary said. And I just thought, oh, I can't be doing with this every time I come to rehearsal. And I think I was probably trying to be cool at the time, I don't know. But I soon wanted to come back. Or did I want to come back? I think I did. I think I came back for a bit. I know Gary was doing. Gary had little Gary Chapman, lovely guy. He's helped me in the past when I first had I had a breakdown, and he was there for Gary. And I think he had to do. They did a gig. I don't know, it was Neil's birthday after I'd gone, and Gary was doing some of the, all the UFO and the stuff that was doing, and then he complimented how I had an ear to work out all the stuff. I mean, in them days, it was way before the internet and everything. I mean, I know there's some really good kids out there now, but they wouldn't be as good as they are and as quick as they are without the internet and YouTube. I don't care what anybody says. You can slow it down. How did you do that? Put on. You can lie in bed twiddling your toes. Oh, I've got it now. Whereas in my days, when I was learning that stuff that we were playing Ricochet, I remember going to see Michael Schenker and that, getting crushed to death just to see where his hands were, And they're very, very lucky today. So if I see another kid 2 years old playing Voodoo Child, I don't care. You know what I mean? So that's what I feel about that. But at the time, yeah, I worked my what up to learn that stuff, and I enjoyed it. I still think Rock Bottom and those songs are great now.
So of your set list that you have over there, set list / art piece.
Set list / Wah slash.
Let's talk about that. Give us a walk.
Well, I found this, and this is what it looks quite. Oh, God love him. Bob wrote this, and I think that was the band started off. That was my first thing. And some of those songs I was doing with Neil. I mean, good on Gary. I was just a Mad Stray fan. They were like a kind of a big band, underground kind of band. And I still like them now, and I've actually played with the band. I told him when I started with my band, the band, not my band, we were doing a lot of Stray songs, and when they came to Birmingham, Stray played here, and he got me on stage, and I did Suicide with them.
We have it.
Yeah,
we have it.
But don't. Neil, I'll kill you for finding these old tapes. I think I was playing all the what I'd call boxes back then, the blues boxes or whatever, in the wrong positions. But hey, you got to start somewhere.
Give it a good shot to the camera right there. Just spread it out.
Oh, like that, yeah. Well, I remember Gary singing that at I don't know. It might have been called Elizabethan Days or the Dog Pool. All in Your Mind, I remember Gary being with us then. I remember Bob probably singing Only What You Make It and all those anyway, before Gary came along. But yeah, I found this. I'm sure there's one or two other little ditties I can find. And, Bob had a real cool stage image when he was, you know. You just look at him, you wouldn't think about listening to the singing. With his Afghani kind of coat. And that was a bit of a, I will say, a tosser who was going to start off with us and would never come out, you know. Full of shit. But I don't know if that's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be me. But, I shouldn't have said that, but he wanted, we thought he was going to start a band with us and he let us down. But, I don't know, it's not easy being in a band and playing, really. You know.
You're telling me, I know.
And it's, so he must have just lost the bottle. I'm sure there's a lot of great players out there who play great in the bedroom, but it's no good in your bedroom. You need to be out, but that can be difficult. You know.
Especially with heavy metal nowadays.
Well, there just seems to be a heavy metal band everywhere. There's probably one next door to it.
Well, I mean, you know, not modern heavy metal, like something like what you would have heard in like 81, 82. Or like
it's 70s. Getting that fast now. You can't hear anything. It's just oh, well, that's slow, ain't it? It's like you might as well put a lawnmower on. You know, the drum beat. You just can't hear anything.
Well,
just, you know, what's that? But life has changed. Where's the? At least when we were playing, I'm not going off the subject here, there was manners and people cared, and it's a different whole thing now. And I think that comes out in the younger people with the music. I'm not knocking anybody, it's just the way you're brought up and the way kids are brought up now to what we were.
It's obviously different, yeah.
So, I mean, my dad was very strict, and I got kicked out when I started. I was asking Bob, I need to live somewhere, and God knows, if it wasn't for the girl I was with, I think I'd have fell down a pit and died. So it was because, mind you, when Gary says about that, it was because a woman from the top of the road, from the top of our road, came down and said she could hear my guitar. Oh man. Oh God.
Well, I think you've pretty much covered all except one is what are you doing today? Obviously it's still with music, so just...
Yeah, I'm pushing myself. I've always liked people like, I love a band called Pato. I think Gary Furness had a couple of friends at the time who knew about some of these underground guitarists. Nolly Else was a fantastic player, and to him that led to Alan Holdsworth. I mean, if I can live a bit longer and play a few licks of these guys, that would make me happy. So I'm still trying to stretch myself as a player, and I love all Indian music, Arabic music. I love the sitar, I've learned to play that. I love lap slide, I love western swing. I love it all, and I think I'm just sending myself in more mental with it, but it keeps me going. As much as it drives me around and twist, it just keeps me going.
Well, I'm with you too, because
nice.
I'm totally self-taught. So.
Yeah, you're a real nice guy. I thought I'm a bit touchy when you can leave this in, but I like people to address me by my name, and I hate the word mate. When people know your name, they call somebody mate. I mean, why? Bud, bro. Why have I got a name? I don't want to be called Bud, bro, or
dude,
shitface, or whatever. Call me Bryan.
All right, so any closing things that you'd like to include?
Yeah, I'd like to say it's lovely that Tim's well, and I know he does been doing his lights and everything. I love his enthusiasm. It's great that Neil's, it's just really nice and warming now. I've been asked to be part of this. Okay, it was just a cover band, but it is just nice to be part of, and be remembered, and thought, well, you were part of that, Bryan, we want you involved, and I respect that.
I just thought of one too.
Sorry?
I just thought of another question. How did you get your nickname Bryan the Lion?
Oh, well, that's pretty obvious, my hair, I think. I'm a Leo, and I was called BJ a lot as well, because of my BJ.
Well, that means something completely different.
Because now. I growl if I'm not happy. But I Leo's a lion. I was Leo's.
Well, I think that about covers it. We're at about 20 minutes. So yeah, that's.
Do you want to know any more, Jeff, while I'm thinking about it? Let me just have a look at this list.
Anything you want to talk about, just do it.
Yeah.
I can't really think. I remember us drinking. I've never been a drink. I don't drink now anyway because of some medication I'm on. But I remember us having chats in the Shakespeare pub on the corner of the rehearsal room. I also remember feeling really good about being able to rehearse in what made you feel like you was in a band. I also like to mention Stu Clark, who sadly passed away some years ago. Great player, Stuart. Admired his playing. I wasn't a massive fan of Cryer, simply because I wasn't really into keyboards at the time and that kind of big theatrical sound, but I was an admirer of all the guys and playing. I remember Fez. They were part of my early growing up with music back then. And
Well, everyone has mentioned Cryer, so I guess they were the brother band. I hear.
But not in a way, because at the time, as far as starting out, yeah, I think Cryer were going well before us.
Oh, absolutely. But
for
from what I understand, Ricochet came on under the wing of Cryer as the sister band, and later Demolition became the sister band of Ricochet.
Well, the thing is with Cryer, they were out to make it and they were writing their own songs. We were doing covers, you know, and that was the difference. But Cryer rehearsed in the same place. I can actually see Gary now playing these certain riffs, and I remember one in my head. But they did some covers as well. I remember them doing Child in Time and a few other things. Strangely enough, they did all that. They did all the stuff they did and worked hard to be original. Yet they'd end up with Johnny Be Good. Which I found quite daunting, which was more my thing at the time. So one minute you're going like from dreamy, you know, your Dio Castles and mountains and doom, and then you're singing Go Johnny Go. But that's what that music reminded me of. I was never really into that but I am into it more now. We changed. There's a lot of things I hated then. You know, guitar wise, I couldn't stand Telecasters. Now I love them, you know, and I've got into players that play that kind of thing. And it's like my sister used to play the Carpenters and all these corny bands. Hated them, but I love them all now. So we just change as we get older, you know. I also remember when I was with, it was around the time of Ricochet, I remember being in Bogarts. That was the place we all went. Has that been mentioned?
yeah, plenty.
We all went to Bogarts, yeah. I think we was all trying to look like cool and was all going to be rock stars. Whatever a rock star is. None of that interested me anyway. Making it or making it to me is just. I just remember years ago just trying to be healthy and feel content was a word I used to use. And I've never really been happy the way I've been felt as a person. I've always been too nervous, but I'm hoping it's just nice to be part of this.
Well, you're
and it's nice.
You're doing fine.
I just really respect the fact that I've been asked to be part of it.
Well, I really that covers everything.
Okay,
So
are you sure? If you want to turn the camera off and just have a look.
no, I'm looking at it now. And
Yeah.
you've covered everything I've got.
Because I don't want to go away from it and think, oh, I really would have liked to have said this and that, you know.
I mean, I think we've got about 25 minutes, so I think we're good.
That's
Jeff
fine.
Jeff will get it all
You alright with that lot, Jeff?
I think you're going to play the blind tonight.
Okay, cheers. I'm not bothered about you putting the bits about my health and that in there either. And I'd like to be thought of as Bryan James as well.
What, do you want me to take that bit out that Gary says about you changing your name?
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah, we'll get it on.
I was just told when you go on Facebook that for security, not that I'm owed anybody who's after me, it's always best, because you see a lot of people on there. I mean, Tony Glyde knows Tony, I mean Neil O'Neill, you know, and I don't
Gary
like,
Michael.
I can't stand the name fucking Williams anyway. I was talking to somebody today about when my mum had Alzheimer's, and my mum had obviously got my dad's name. I shouldn't really say this, but I wasn't happy the way my dad was when he had Alzheimer's. I didn't want to be a Williams. I don't know if you can relate to that.
No,
that's not a new put. Well, it's just, that's my dad's thing. My mum passed away with Alzheimer's, and I'd rather be her name. That's just, it got to me.
I can turn it off.
See, he knows what I'm on about. Don't put that in the interview.
No, of course not. I'll flip.
Turn it off now anyway. Yeah, we went through quite a few things.